Posse, Packer Nation. Welcome to an episode of Packcast, the podcast where you don't have to be Packers fan, but it sure does up. I'm your host, Tom. That's the second time I had to record the intro because I'm running on 3 hours of sleep. Grossi. And today we are going to be talking to a member of the purple incarnation of Satan, a team that is so horrific that their stadium literally imploded on itself, their last one, because it just couldn't take the weight of being a Vikings home.
Old news.
You can find her Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. all the way to 10 a.m. on the opening drive, which is featured on the Sports Animal, where you can get it everywhere. Returning back to the show, AMarie.
I'm so happy. It's so funny because people are like, oh my God, you're going on a Packers podcast. I'm like, Tom Grossi's podcast. He's like one of the few I tolerate.
Nailed it. I have that distinct honor. How are you?
I'm doing great. Opening drive. It's a great show. No one cares about the Vikings in the mass media except when it comes to their fantasy football team.
True.
But I'm not limited to the Vikings. I love all sports. I'm living my dream job. So things are good.
Love that. I love
Vikings season, always mediocre. So, I've just accepted it. And so here we are.
There was a stat that came out, I think a few weeks ago, that it was like, if the Vikings didn't allow any points in like the final 2 minutes of the fourth quarter, they would have been like 12-0.
Do you know, it's not just the 2 minutes at the fourth, it's the 2 minutes for the second half as well. It is where you're going to score. And also, as we know, we can't put it in your man's hands at all during those times in general.
He's got big hands. Yeah. But that fills me with so much glee and delight just watching the Vikings choke away so many close games. It really, it's been a rough year for a lot of people.
Within one score.
Yeah, within one. It reminds me of the Lions a lot. And I think that considering the trajectory of your team, like, I think that that's an appropriate comparison, because
in a way, because I feel like in our division, I despise like the Packers and the Bears twice a year, and then like the Lions are cute, but I guess I can agree with your comparison just because it's heartbreak after heartbreak. We're such a weird team. We'll lose to the Lions, but we'll beat you once. It's like it never makes any sense.
I mean, like, listen, Dalvin Cook, getting activated off the COVID list because of the new COVID protocol. So he's going to most likely be playing on Sunday. So that's something to worry about because that man is an absolute monster. He like freaking dislocated his shoulder and he's like, oh no, I'm good. And like running for 100 yards.
Well, and you have AJ Dillon, but because I don't think Mr. Jones is playing, but I feel like that's going to be our game. I mean, no one wants to go to Lambeau this time of year. No one wants to go to Lambeau in general, but especially when it comes to playoff picture football, December football. Will it be January? It'll be January by then. I don't know. It will be January by then. I mean, it's going to be one of the coldest, I guess I saw record-breaking games. I think it's going to be both dependent on our run game and our offenses. I think it's going to be a shootout because both of our defenses let teams score. So
4 degrees. It's going to be
start all the running backs.
Wind chill -16. Let's go, baby. Let's get it.
Off the ball.
It's like, here you go. I'm done now. Yeah. I mean, you guys beat us. I thought Darnell Savage had that pick, and I was so happy. But beating us earlier in the year. But the Vikings, like, our whole division right now, I feel like they're going through some changes because you have Aaron Rodgers in what likely is going to be the last dance, right? In which I know you're very devastated about it. It's okay. It's all right. Maybe he'll stay if you cry enough.
I'm just
I know. The Vikings, I mean, they've transitioned from being a defensive-minded team to an offensive, at least having more playmakers and all-stars like on the offensive side of the ball. Thielen, unfortunately, he's going to be out for the rest of the season. He's got to get surgery. But you have Thielen, you have Jefferson, you have Cook. And then there's the Mike Zimmer question, I guess, because he's a defensive-minded coach, but your defense isn't as strong as it used to be. Yeah. Where are you on the Mike Zimmer situation?
Sports fans are not patient. And now when they're done, just like I know you go through this with whatever. Probably you went through this with Mike McCarthy at some point. I don't know. I don't know if you did. I don't want to compare McCarthy and Zimmer, but it's like I feel like at a point, if you're it's done. Like, okay, you've been there, you had a good run, but like
good times.
It's not working.
Yeah.
We thought it could work, but it's not. And it's just there's such a disconnect in so many different areas, and you can't have these great teams and just like it just falls apart. It's insane. Sure. So I still don't know what the answer is. Been trying to figure that out my 35 years of life. I would like to see an offensive-minded coach, and I would like the Vikings to stop hiring family members. It's kind of like, all right, I'm going to retire. Here you go, son. Here's the keys to the car.
Yeah.
No offense to Clinton Kubiak, but I just think we need to bring in new. New is good. New is good.
So you want someone who's going to make some waves and is offensive.
Right. Yes.
Like Urban Meyer. He's very offensive. He makes a lot of waves, and he is now a free agent. So I think that is the perfect pairing.
You just want that as a Packers fan. I do not want that drama in Minnesota. We don't do drama in Minnesota. Okay,
so you want to keep things like relatively the same then. In that case, Matt Nagy looks like he's going to be available in the next few games too.
For failure. Okay. Matt Nagy and Urban Meyer need to go hang out at a bar and just do whatever they do.
Do you think there's a problem with the GM in Minnesota?
Yeah, I think it's time to just clean house, to be honest with you. I do feel really bad for like veteran players like Harrison Smith and that's really funny. But in these players, they've been such so we got to go. I mean, what are we gonna do? Draft another cornerback? I mean, I just between the drafting and I mean we have drafted well last year, but something's not working, and it's not. We have amazing players. I mean, I think it comes down to coaching.
Sure. And well, I think to solve that problem, I mean, you can kind of kill two birds with one stone and save yourself some money, because Bill O'Brien has been a GM and a head coach before. So if you just kind of like slide him in there, and if you're like, Tom, why would I want Bill O'Brien? Adam Gase also, has some experience there. You never know where he's looking. You're not able to read his game plans.
This situation, why can't we get a nice, attractive young coach like your boy?
Attractive.
I'm just kidding.
Well, it makes sense.
You know what I mean? Like a young, fresh mind. Matt's been doing okay since he's been over there in Wisconsin.
The sexiest head coach in the league, Matt LeFleur.
Yeah, maybe him or McVay. It could be whatever. Even though Zimmer does, I don't know if you've seen Zimmer's girlfriend, but good for him.
I have not. I've just seen his terrible game plans. That's all I've seen.
That's so funny. But yeah, so no, I think it's time. It's for the front house, coaches, GMs
to be shown the door.
Let's do it.
Okay. So my next question for you, and I don't need like the exact numbers, but how much money do you think Kirk Cousins' next contract is going to be with the Minnesota Vikings? Are we looking at $100 million? Are we looking a little bit more?
Going to leave.
Oh, and then like for the offseason. Yeah, but when he comes back in August, like what, how much?
There's a lot of chirps going around. If Zimmer goes, Kirk's going to go. Oh, there's a whole, there's a lot of tea being sipped everywhere. But I think that's what people just want. But I do think we have one more year with Kirk. And I do not think we'll re-extend him, though.
It's going to be one more. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's about it. And then Aaron Rodgers will probably come retire as a Viking, and we'll have the same old fun. Well, what if that would happen? We would talk about that all the time. We're like, wow, that would be hilarious.
Okay, here's the thing. If he wins a Super Bowl this year, I'm kind of the mindset of do whatever you want. I mean, here's the thing. He's not going to be able to pick, and like the Packers are never going to trade it to Minnesota, right? Because it's within the division, but he could pull a Favre and just be like, and like, go and then decide to go
like
there.
The Jags or something for like a couple months and then sign with the Vikes.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, he could. He theoretically could do that. That would literally be hell on earth for me, though, to see him suit up in that That'd be
Favre 2.0.
Yeah, get far. It's funny too because I was doing a show this morning and I have an autographed Favre poster that's like that from when he won Super Bowl 31. And I went to go turn my lights off and I bumped into it and it hit the ground and shattered everywhere. So I'm just like, oh, of course that's going to happen on Vikings Day when I'm going to sit down with AMarie and talk some Packers Vikings. Brett Favre has to shatter just like he shattered my childhood innocence when he became a Minnesota Viking.
Yeah, I have a purple Brett Favre jersey.
I do too, unfortunately. So that's it was a gift, but
that's really funny.
Yeah. No, it's fine. Well, I mean, the good thing was that Brett Favre won a lot of Super Bowls with you guys. So, at least you're able to hold that, up high, that you have all those rings. Where we were recording before, you were saying like it's a new room and it was pretty empty. Is that where the Vikings trophy case is like, is that what that is? Or
oh boy, sure is. Except the guy I'm going to marry has at least a Super Bowl.
Oh, do you get that in the marriage? Is that like in the contract or whatever? Like by proxy?
That is in the contract.
It's just like, listen, I need a ring. I need it. I need it so bad.
Have you seen that meme though? And so I always send it to him. I was like, because talking about getting engaged and stuff, it's like you never have to. Viking fans are never expecting a ring.
Yeah.
So funny.
I love it so much. I love it. And all right, so talking about where things are going, you are still technically in the running for a playoff spot. However,
it is between the Eagles and Saints. Yes, we're in the hunt, but I think it's more than a hunt. I don't know. I wouldn't call it in the hunt. I feel like we're hanging off the edge here.
You're sitting on the back porch looking and be like, oh, I wonder if they're hunting in there.
We're bleeding out right now.
Just crawling on the ground, just trying to.
We have been hunted, and now we're just bleeding out. Hoping for a miracle.
That's it. Well, so here's the thing, because this season truly has been one of the greatest seasons of my lifetime, and it really has nothing to do with the Green Bay Packers. It has to do all with the Minnesota Vikings, and I mean this. This is dead serious. It is dead serious because you guys won your Super Bowl. You beat the Green Bay Packers, right?
Yes, that
all
is
of Minnesota filled with glee and joy. There was peace on the streets, and everyone was building snowmen, in the front yard. It was beautiful. And months prior to that, I said that the Detroit Lions would get their first win of the season against the Minnesota Vikings. And I have to say, that was one of the greatest moments as a football fan.
God, you got to find that clip.
Oh, I did. I put it together. I put it all together. Yeah, I put it out.
You have to send it to me.
It was, I was like, this has to happen. I streamed that game. I basically acted like the Packers won the Super Bowl.
That was like your Super Bowl this year. Well,
it was basically like our divisional round because the NFC Championship game is definitely not our Super Bowl. So like that's a self burn before you could. Yeah. So that's what that was.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so that was absolutely incredible. So what was the feeling like just going from, wow, we beat the Packers to now we just lost to the winless Lions?
You know what's so funny is I'm so used to this. And on that last play when, you're not blitzing Goff again and you're just like, okay, I'm playing because you're putting like you're putting Goff as like he's Aaron Rodgers or something. I don't know. It's so crazy. We just like let him play. It was so funny. Like right before that play call, I was like, they are going to score and this is going to be funny. And they did. And I literally laughed because this is just so typical us. It's so predictable. And I was like, and then they said we have to win out. And I think Sunday's game is actually going to be good. I mean, they're fighting for the first seed and we are, bleeding out trying to survive. But typical Vikings would be like, beat the Packers, lose the Bears. Like, that's just like, it makes no sense ever. There's no logic.
Yeah. No, I wouldn't doubt that happens. It's just like Dalvin Cook has a 200-yard game and then you put up 3 points against the Bears. Yeah. I mean, listen, you guys had a primetime game with the Bears a few weeks ago, and man, that was a Hall of Fame game for sure.
Wow, God. God. It's always ugly with the Bears. One or two game, well, one game a year, and they just always contain Cook. He can never go over 100 yards with them, so it's very interesting.
And that's what I'm saying. Don't you want a great defensive mind like Matt Nagy running your football team? You just swap it. You just switch it up, and I think that it'll be a very fruitful relationship.
No, I'm just hoping for revenge on Nick Foles next week because he can't decide who he wants to start as quarterback. So, no, but I'm excited for Sunday night's game. I think it's gonna be really good. Besides being freezing,
I am actually very much looking forward to it because the reason that my hatred for the Vikings runs so deep is because like it's an actual rivalry, right?
Oh,
like even last year you stole one from us as well, and like this year. Beat us again. And it's kind of like you look at the Bears, they're like, that's not happening. Aaron Rodgers is telling his fans that they're fans that he owns them, right? The Lions is like, it's okay, kitty cat. Like the Vikings, it's like, oh yeah, no, we don't like each other. Like, and it's gonna be a battle almost every time we play.
And Zimmer's only won 4 against since he's been the Vikings head coach, 4 against you. And Aaron
Rodgers, like it's a lot more. It feels like it's a lot more.
Right? It does probably because when we win. But yeah, Zimmer only has 4 against you. Maybe he wants to go out with one more before he rides off into the sunset with his smoke show girlfriend at his hunting lodge in Minnesota.
Nailed it.
Yeah, but Rodgers plays very well against everyone pretty much. So it's gonna be tough.
So look, before we jump into the game, looking ahead, because you are probably going to go through some transitions as well, maybe new head coach, right? What have you? Do you look to the draft? I know you just drafted a QB, but like, do you look to say like, hey, maybe we should go get another one? Like, or is it kind of like, do you think maybe when Kirk is not around anymore, it's a trade if somebody's available?
I kind of like, as a Minnesota Viking fan, I would the reason I was excited we actually drafted a quarterback earlier in the rounds. I'm not saying obviously there's been some gems in later round picks,
sure.
The fact that we just drafted a quarterback and we just didn't go after a already
established guy
that's been in the league for years or like just an old man. That's what we do. Not just Brett Favre. We like old men in general at the Vikings, even as our backup quarterback. Manning's been in the league for like 8 years. So I'm like, what are we doing?
No kink shaming here.
What are we doing? And that's why I was excited when we signed Kyle Slaughter yesterday because I was like, yes, get back young, good, or with potential. We don't know if they're good yet, behind some established quarterbacks and develop them. It works really well. I think you've seen it before, like quarterbacks who sit behind great quarterbacks and then become great quarterbacks.
I think I've seen it once, yeah.
Quarterback for like 10 years and you go pretty far, maybe win Super Bowls. What a concept.
Hey, Patrick Mahomes is who you're talking about, right? Because he sat behind Alex Smith. That's what it was. Yeah,
that's what it was.
That's what it was, yeah.
That's what it was.
Yeah.
That's what it was. No, and even with coaches, we can't hold the offensive coordinator for the life of us. That's why there's some disconnect. Like, we cannot put a ring on it literally, and we cannot because we cannot keep anyone. So, it's awful. So I would love to keep the same coaching staff and a quarterback. A lot of people don't like Kirk, and everyone be careful when I say this because people don't really listen to what I'm saying. Kirk Cousins is playing in his prime right now. Let's not waste it. People don't like Kirk Cousins, but this is his prime.
I don't actually disagree with that at all. I completely agree with that.
They're like, I have almost gotten canceled. You look at Kirk Cousins right now, this is his prime. And we're quickest to congratulate, quickest to blame is the quarterback. It's not just him. He has had a good season.
He has had actually a good season. He has. Like, he's actually gone very much under the radar. Like, he's had a very solid season.
Reputation. And so I wouldn't mind one more year with Kirk. He's developed in our system. I know we'll probably have a new coach, but like he's in his prime right now.
Well, that's the thing. I think it's the question of maybe, he's in his prime, but is his prime enough to get you to where you want to be?
Right.
Like, that I think is the better question, right? Because you have like a trio of superstar players in Thielen, Jefferson, and Cook. Yeah. So it's a matter of like any team would kill to have 2 number 1 receivers and a top 5 running back.
We have depth in our running game too. I like our backup
Madison,
and I like KJ Osborne and Conklin or Smith Jr. when he comes back. I mean, we have the depth at the positions. We started, I guess, working on the offensive line. We'll see if that continues to happen.
It's been better.
It's been better. But yeah, so I mean, something's got to give here, and that is the question. But do you need an elite quarterback to win a Super Bowl? I mean, in 2017, it was our running game and our defense that people forget. I mean, after the Minneapolis Miracle, then we don't talk about it after that. But I'm saying that year got us to that game because of our running game and our defense. So yeah, it was. I mean, everyone praises Case Keenum. But I'm like, okay, guys, I like Case Keenum too.
He did enough. Like he did enough.
Cousins is a little bit above a serviceable quarterback. I think he's a good quarterback.
I agree with that. Like I agree, which is why I think it's confusing of why it's not working. And then I think that goes back to your question about coaching, right? It's going about like, what are we doing here? Are we still kind of calling the same defenses except without those superstars, and we're not putting emphasis on the offense because you have those weapons? How come you're not putting up more points? I think like that's been a question that's been, rattling around for Vikings fans this season.
And I want a team that can play from behind and not play conservative when we play. You just got to play aggressive and like. Yeah. I hate when you're ahead by a lot and you just like start letting up. Like I hate that more than anything. In this world, it's my biggest pet peeve.
Yeah.
So I think So new coaching, I think, is the answer to all of this.
All right. Before we jump in, I want to bring something to your attention.
Oh boy.
If the Minnesota Vikings beat the Green Bay Packers on Sunday night, and the Dallas Cowboys win out, the Dallas Cowboys are the number 1 seed in the NFC. So, AMarie, my question to you is, do you really hate us that much that you want to see the Cowboys as the number 1 seed in the NFC?
You know, it's hard. Those are my 2 least favorite. Well, I think the Saints are. Oh,
that makes sense.
And the Eagles. The people I'm in the hunt for, I hate. And then it's like the Cowboys. I was raised to hate the Cowboys. I just can't believe they're going to be the number 1 seed, and I'm not taking that away from them. It's the NFC so wild. Okay. And the AFC. Both. This has been a wild year.
AFC's insane.
I am very torn because I want Zimmer out.
Ooh.
And so, but that means I don't like when then people lose. But
sure.
You can go out on a bang. You can go back maybe to make a playoff run, but
an extension.
I'm very, very torn right now. I don't like you or the Cowboys though. So the Packers or the Cowboys. It's very tough for me.
Just keep that in the back of your mind when you're watching on Sunday night and you're just like, oh man, Dalvin Cook just ripped off a 35-yard run. Oh no, but the Cowboys won against the Cardinals.
Yeah.
Just think
all right, so I have to go for how about I just go for the Cardinals for you?
Yes.
But hope we win. How about that?
No, you can't have both. Nope. That was against the rules of the game.
Having my cake and eat it too. Like I can't have both.
Yeah, can't have both.
Well, all right. Sorry.
All right. So if that happens, you're responsible for the Cowboys being the number 1 seed in the NFC. So I just want to let you know the blood is then on your hands. You know, talking about bleeding out.
Okay. I'm bleeding out right now.
You've broken the last seal to hell, if that's going to be the case. But Sunday night, Lambeau Field, Sunday night football. Glad this game didn't get flexed out. As we already talked about,
it did.
I'm very happy. Because listen, it's Sunday night Lambeau. It's Packers Vikings. It'll be a good time. I think it's going to still be a good game. Thielen not being there. If Cook wasn't there, I'd feel a lot better about this. But Cook is just like, oh, I'm a monster, and he will just demolish teams. So for you, what are you looking for in this game, and how do you think it's going to turn out?
I do think obviously it's you guys are playing for the number 1 spot. I mean, that's huge. We're playing for pride, and maybe not just let not bleed out, still have a chance. I think that it will be a shootout. Whoever's running game works better. I think that's what's going to win the game.
Sure. Yeah. That'll happen when it's like negative 16 degrees wind chill. I think that's
I think it's going to be a run heavy game. You guys are minus 6.5 as of today.
Yeah, it's gonna be a good one. I'm looking forward to it because the hatred is so real for both franchises. Like it truly is a rival, because even if you're saying like it's 4 wins, I didn't even know that. I really thought it was a lot more than that. I think it just feels a lot bigger because it doesn't really happen with the Bears. It doesn't really happen with the Lions. And when it does, we're like, who cares? Like it's a matter of the Vikings. You just don't want to lose to them.
Right. And I just think it'll be I think this is an offensive game. I really do. I really do. So,
well,
it's gonna be exciting.
We shall see. I know I'm looking forward to it. Prime time. Our two franchises meet once again.
And Kirk Cousins plays so well in prime time, like Aaron Rodgers. So
prime time Kirk
game.
The only thing that better could be on a Monday night. But AMarie, I really appreciate you being here, taking the time, coming on the show. Tell the people.
I'll have my studio ready next time. I'll have it ready.
You'll write you'll do the symbols like marking that this is the entryway to hell, like the whole 9 yards.
Yeah, it'll just be like an empty trophy case.
Yep, that's it. Like if you actually could get the same plexiglass that Kirk Cousins surrounds himself in, and also is around the empty trophy case, I think it's a win-win.
There'll be a bunch of missed field goals and
just balls taped to the left, and wide right of the goalpost. Yeah, I think that'd be great. But AMarie, tell the people where they can find you and all the things that you do.
Follow me in this little square. It says @PartTimeBro. That's all my social media handles. Once again, I'm on the opening drive, the Sports Animal. You can listen to it anywhere in the world, on any app that lets you listen to the radio, and it's free. We have Sports Animal app now, 7 a.m. to 10 a.m. Mountain Time. People get confused with that, and just follow me on social media and follow. This has been so great. And I'm telling you, I hate the Packers, and I love always talking to you, and I'm proud of you. It's really inspiring watching what you're doing.
Thank you. I really appreciate it. I'm so glad things are going well. You said you got the ring. You got that.
Almost. Well, just like a Viking fan, we're waiting on it.
We're just telling thousands of people. We're just like, hey,
takes. We've seen it. We picked it out. We're just gonna see if we're gonna get it.
Oh, okay. All right, so it's on layaway right now. It's on layaway. It's on layaway. That's fine. It's fine. After the holidays are hectic. It's fine. But
he thinks it's cliche to do it on a holiday.
That's a cliche. Also, if it's a gift, then
you don't have to buy another gift. Is that what it is?
I'm just saying it saves a little bit of money on the wallet a little bit. It's just like, hey, you're like, I needed pants, and I have no pants, and you're like, but you got a nice ring. That's it. But AMarie, it's a pleasure as always. I appreciate you. And
Skull.
Oh, gross. I hope Iceland sues you for it still. But ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for watching. I'm Tom Grossi. And as always, go Pack Go.